So I was born into a Roman Catholic family, christened as a baby and did the whole First Communion thing. And then when I was about 8, my dad had a dramatic new birth experience that completely transformed his life. And he was on fire for Jesus and wanted the same for us. In junior high, my parents enrolled me in a Christian school. I noticed this tension in my life that I didn't measure up and I didn't know what was wrong. And I really wanted to, but I couldn't put my finger on why it wasn't happening. And so at a camp during an invitation, I raised my hand, hoping that that would relieve the tension and make everything better. So I get to college, and you just have to understand that this is not your typical college. The rules are very, very clear, and your spirituality is quite tightly tied to your obedience of the rules. For me, I was very, very skillful at putting on that plastic mask and pretending everything was okay, and trying to work out that tension in my heart by youth work, trying to help the kids who came behind me to have an easier time obeying that law, those morals, being good kids, so that they wouldn't have to struggle with that same inner tension that I had. I just despaired. The word fraud haunted me. I felt like I was a fraud. I believe that my conversion came at that time. I really do. But it wasn't, at that moment, it wasn't a joyful time. It was the realizing, God, be merciful to me. I am a sinner and I am empty. In my heart, my story, my heart was so dead. And I knew it, but I couldn't do anything about it, no matter how hard I tried, and I tried hard. But it wasn't until I realized how spiritually bankrupt I was that then in grace He stepped in and raised me up. My sinful pride cringes to admit that this is my 4th baptism. My first one was a Roman Catholic christening as an infant. And then when my dad got saved, when I was 8, we were baptized as a family. When I was 13, I was already feeling that spiritual tension, that there's something wrong here that needs to be fixed. And I raised my hand in an invitation, but I didn't really grasp the gospel at that point in my life. And so I was baptized after that. I know now that I'm in Christ. I know I am. But when did that happen? When did that change occur? And the more that I have wrestled with that, the more I've been convinced that it was sometime around that year that I was pregnant with our oldest son. And so, that being the case, I have not been baptized as a believer. The beauty of knowing that I am His beloved, and when He looks at me, He sees me clothed in Christ's righteousness, and there is nothing I can do, there's nothing I have to do to earn His love or favor, that Jesus did it all. He is stronger than my sin. He is strong enough to transform my heart, and I don't have to strive. He can do that work in me, and He is doing that work in me every day, and there's a beautiful rest in that.